back, friends. We're glad you have joined us. This is the Ridgeview Pod. My name is Michael Yates. I'm your host. The Ridgeview Pod is where we try to cover everything hope, healing, and recovery related. I'm always tickled when a guest can be not only a staff member, but someone who has lived experience. So, Anna Day, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, the context of you being here is that you and I were on a ARC Inspire Advisory Committee meeting a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know,
Yeah.
whenever it was, time warp.
Yes.
And it was really cool because at that point, I don't know that I knew that you were involved as the peer recovery specialist. And I've had peer recovery specialists on before, like Richard Mosley,
Mhm.
Barry Floyd, who's coming on later today.
Awesome.
And it's always cool, I think, when we can engage and involve the peer recovery specialists in what we're doing and how we're doing it. So, as a point of reference, I even quoted this, I think, during the advisory committee meeting as part of the ARC Inspire application. We referenced Bryson Martinez, who was he was a panelist for the webinar in advance of us writing our application. And he said, at the end of the day, it's somebody's life you're serving. There are no cookie cutter solutions. Programming needs to balance between what the individual needs and what you can do.
Yeah, I like that.
Keeping communication lines open is critical. So you are our Bryson Martinez, the presence of that in the ARC Inspire.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. You are located where?
I work in Campbell County and I also work in Scott County.
Oh, in both.
Yes.
Okay. Where's your main location?
Campbell
Okay.
County. Yes.
And how long have you been with Ridgeview?
I've worked there going on 7 months.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So how has it been? Tell me a little bit about what is a day in the life of a peer recovery specialist.
Basically, I just go in and whenever they have clients in our office, talk to them and see where they're at. Like meet them where they're at, pretty much. See how they're doing. Check in on them. Some of them are struggling, and obviously it's addiction and stuff like that, and mental. I just check on them and see how they're doing, and if they need any support, I'm there for them to talk to because it's always good to have someone to talk to. Especially when you can relate to what they're going through firsthand.
Yeah, you can relate to them and what they're going through firsthand.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. What do you mean by that?
I'm actually in recovery. I've been in addiction since I think I was 15 years old. I'm 34, and I've been through it all. But this is the best I've ever done in my life, honestly. So I know that there's hope, and I know that you can get a job and actually keep a job. And I still struggle myself with just it's a one day at a time thing. But I'm proud of myself, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I've been through it all. What they were going through, I've probably been there a couple
Yeah.
times.
Well, you said a couple of things in there that just are really powerful. One was meeting people where they are. And certainly one of Ridgeview's values is acceptance, and part of acceptance is meeting people where they are. I have to imagine that is incredibly powerful for someone who is either currently in the throes of addiction, or is in their own recovery process and journey, to actually talk to someone who has a level of awareness about what it's like, the
Yeah,
struggle, the difficulty, the challenge.
yeah.
I can see why that would be you're holding hope for them until they're ready to hold it themselves.
Yes, they have to want it for themselves, but I'm there, if they want someone to talk to. And what I love about it is taking a negative experience of my own and turning it into something positive. And like I've been to rehabs and stuff like that in my past, and I always preferred to talk to someone that had really, people say they understand, but I knew these people truly understood because they were in recovery as well that worked there.
Yeah,
So I'm not saying, other people don't know, but it is better when you know exactly, like they know exactly what you're going through.
yeah.
So
Now,
it
one
does
of the
help.
things we talked about before we started recording was you're actually in the certification process. You're
Yes.
beginning that to become a certified peer recovery specialist.
Yes, I'm really
Yeah,
excited
that's
about that.
awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
I'm so excited. I just did the application. I'm just waiting on the start date.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wonderful.
thank you.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the context of the team in which you operate. So you're part of a team of folks that are Arc Inspire in Scott and Campbell County.
Yes.
So who is eligible for this program?
You have to have some kind of, you have to be in some kind of substance abuse, or mental, substance co-occurring. You have to have something like that, and they help a lot. It's supported employment, and they help people get jobs. Um, and I'm there to help them if they are struggling to do that. So that's basically what we do
Yeah.
is just help people that are. But you have to be in that to be in the program. That's how you get into the art program. You have
And
to have one or the other or both.
if I'm watching this, maybe I live in Campbell County, maybe I've got co-occurring conditions that I'm dealing with, and I want to learn more about this, or I want to see if I'm eligible to enroll in it.
hmm
Do you know how someone would go about that?
They can do like a intake with Ridgeview and talk to someone, and they will lead them. They send them our way. They give them our information, and they can jump right in there.
So everything begins with the intake.
Yes,
Getting,
I believe so.
yeah,
Yes, I believe.
yeah. No, I
Pretty
think you're
sure.
right. I
Yeah.
think you're right. It
Yeah,
is
you have to do that part
the
first, but
portal of entry.
yeah.
So who else is on the team that's serving Campbell County?
On the team that I'm on,
Hmm.
there's a few people. We have, I think, I'm not sure, 8 members, 7? Is it 7 or 8? I'm not sure. But
Handful.
yeah, a handful of
Oh, yeah.
people. I'm the only peer specialist in our team though, so it is like just a few women.
Uh-huh. And is one a therapist?
No,
Okay. So one is an employment specialist trying to link people to jobs
they are,
that
yes.
they're interested in.
They are, yes. I think there's a couple that don't work in the ARC, but they're on our team. Like a few of them work with people in addiction, and the other ones work with people that are not in addiction. But we're
Gotcha.
all a team.
And are is there also an educational component to it? So folks are interested in pursuing a degree or a diploma.
Yes. Yes, they help, with education. They help with getting your GED or whatever you may need, but yes, there is an educational part to it as well.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful
Yeah. No,
because
that.
a lot of people need that little push or, need that guidance to get there.
Yeah.
And it's great that there's a program that will help people like that and don't just give up on them.
Yeah.
So I think that's wonderful because, usually if you're in addiction, people are like, don't want to mess with you, or if you have felonies
Mm.
or anything like that, they don't want nothing to do with you. So the fact that we don't judge or anything and just help you meet you where you're at,
Yeah.
like we said.
I think a couple times last year in several of the podcasts, the phrase "judgment free zone" came up, and
Yes.
you just mentioning that made me think of it. Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up judicial involvement, at whatever level. You mentioned felony. It is so difficult for people to secure housing,
Yes.
employment, when they have that anchor
Yes.
that is holding them back.
That will follow you for the rest of your life. It'll follow you everywhere. But the good thing, is there are jobs out there that will hire you if you're a felon. And we help to do that. My team helps to do that, and just there if they need support.
Yeah.
I like it. I enjoy it.
So, Anna, one of the monikers of this Ridgeview pod is discussing everything that's hope, healing, and recovery related. What gives you hope?
What gives me hope is, let's see, knowing that I've made it this far. I've lost friends. I've lost friends to addiction, and I've lost my family members. Very close family members of mine. I'm pretty much on my own, so it gives me hope knowing that I can be a good mother to my kids and that I can do something and be a positive role model to them and they don't and break the cycle, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that's beautifully said.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can see why and how you're also a healing presence for those that are in need of support and encouragement from someone who's walked the walk and
Yeah.
knows the challenges that and hardships that lie before them. So,
It's one of the hardest things I've ever done, I have to say, but, I don't think I would take it back because it's made me who I am.
mm,
But I wish, I could go back and change certain things, which who doesn't, but I never thought I would come to where I'm at now. So I really just want to keep on seeing where I can go next.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just
future's
glad to be
bright.
here. Oh, yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
It's seeming that I won't have to wear my sunglasses. It's so
Yeah.
bright.
Right. I like that. I like that. Well, good. I think this is helpful information. So, just to package it for folks, if someone is interested in determining whether or not Arkinspire, which is a supportive employment slash education component available in Campbell and Scott County, uh, the way to begin, they can certainly reach out to Ridgeview.
Mhm.
We can put your contact information and extension in the notes below. Uh, but they can also get an intake,
Yes.
come in through the walk-in clinic.
Mhm.
Uh, an appointment is not needed.
Yes.
And those in Campbell, they are 8:30 to 9:30.
Last time they told me was 8 to 8:30, but I would say between 8 and 9. Yes.
Yeah, the sooner the
Just walk
better.
on in. Yeah.
Yes. And meet with a therapist, get that initial intake done. Takes about an hour, regardless of your ability to pay. Um, and in Scott County, I think the hours are pretty much the same as well, 8 to 9,
Yeah.
8:30 to 9:30, somewhere in there, Monday through Friday.
Yes.
So, all right. Thank you for coming in. You ready to have a little fun?
Yeah. Sure.
All right. I have to shamelessly admit these are not my
Uh
questions,
oh.
but I'm a fan of Greg Bennett, who's a triathlete and a retired triathlete. And with his guests, he does a few rapid fire questions. And
Okay.
I always enjoy hearing some of the responses. And I thought, well, we ought to have that same kind of fun.
Yeah.
Uh, it allows people also just to get to know you on a more of a personal level.
Okay.
So here are a couple. What's your favorite family vacation?
My favorite family vacation would have to be actually me and my children just went to Gatlinburg, and that was so enjoyable. We had our own little hotel room, just me and my kids, and we got to go swimming in the indoor pool and went to the aquarium the next day, and we had a blast. So knowing that I was with my kids, I've never been on a vacation with just my kids. Actually, that was our first vacation ever with my kids. So
Wonderful,
yeah, that
wonderful.
has to be my favorite. And that was just this past weekend.
Oh, fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. That's a recent powerful
Yes,
memory.
it was a blast.
All right. Well, good, good. What are you currently watching on Netflix or some streaming service or TV?
Oh, Lord, I am addicted to the ID channel,
The ID channel.
Investigation Discovery. It's a true murder crime stories. It's all true. That's my thing. That's what I watch 24/7.
Y-
Well, when I'm home, that's what I watch.
One of the guests last month said the same thing. Not that, but interest in like murder,
Yes.
mystery, investigative
Yeah. It
stuff.
has to be
So,
true stories, though. I
uh-huh.
can't do the fake.
Wow,
But I
wow.
love it.
Okay. All right. Very good. What are the two most used apps on your phone?
Oh, Lord. The two most used apps Facebook, of course. And I would say I like to watch TikTok videos. Never thought I would like TikTok, because my son likes TikTok. He's 12, and I was always like wondering why he was always on there. But you get on there, you kind of got to make yourself get off there because you get stuck watching them videos. People come up with some crazy, really cool stuff, though. It's
Yeah.
addicting.
Yeah. So hopefully you are following Ridgeview on Facebook.
Of course.
All right, very good. Because when we publish this episode, we will share it to Facebook and then you can share it on your
Awesome.
platform.
I definitely will.
And so can you too.
Yes, you better.
Okay, so out of 10, 10 being the best, how cool would you say you are?
How cool am I?
Uh-huh.
I would say I'm cooler than a polar bear's toenails.
Okay, I've heard a lot
I'd say
of
about a 6
uh,
though,
uh,
really,
uh,
and realistically, 6, 5 and
that
a half.
very clever response there. I've heard a lot of different responses, but not that one. So 6. What would it take for you to move up to a 7, do you think?
Um, I don't know, I can be a 7 on some days, I'd say. I think 7 on my good days.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Depending on the day.
depending on the day, which side of the bed I wake up
I
on.
can be a 1 or I
Oh,
can be a
yes,
10.
yes, real
All right.
fast, and I can go from 1 to 10 really quick too.
All right. Um, Let me see. What decade of music is the best?
Oh, Lord, the '80s for sure.
Yeah, well, so give me a name a band or a musician that.
Watch me say somebody that's not even in the '80s. AC/DC is my band.
Oh, really? A
Yes.
little thunderstruck,
Oh,
huh?
yes, I've seen them in concert. It was the best thing ever. I loved it so much, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the '80s, right? I was born in '87.
Well,
If
they
it's not,
are.
then
I think their first albums came out in the late
wow.
70s. They're very first with Bon Scott, the first
Yes.
singer. Yeah,
I can't believe they got somebody to sound so much like him.
yeah.
That's crazy to me, but yes, I love it.
All right. There we
1973,
go.
see, I had my date wrong.
Thanks to our producer, Donnie. Quick on it.
Well, that was before my time, but I always told my mom, she would blast that music, and I'd tell her, "Please turn that down." She always told me I would like it, and then here I am, loving AC/DC, so and I got my kids listening to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Last one. Greatest movie of all time.
Greatest movie of all time, in my opinion, would have to be Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, that is a
Oh,
good
such
one.
a good movie. I could
Yeah,
watch that movie over and over.
yeah.
Such a good movie.
Even when you know the uh, gold at the end of the rainbow that's coming for him,
Yeah,
it's worth the struggle to
y
see all that he has to go through to
it
get
is.
there.
It's a
Yeah,
great movie.
yeah,
It's a great movie.
yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Well, Anna, thank you so much for coming in. It's great to learn a little bit about you, to spend some time with you, hear about the power and the importance not only of your own story, but of what the recovery specialist role can mean for people on the journey of recovery and their
Yeah.
own healing.
I'm on
So,
that journey as well, and helping them helps me too. So let's
yeah.
see where it goes. And
All
thank you for
right.
having me.
Absolutely. And thank you for tuning in, folks. It's always a pleasure to have you. This is the Ridgeview Pod. We try to cover everything hope, healing, and recovery related. Please subscribe, ring the bell so that you get notification of each week's episode. Take good care. See you next week.